Transgender inclusion is such a critical part of our work right now because it's where the discrimination and bigotry is the harshest, and it's the place that Equality Florida has an unshakable commitment to making sure we always include gender identity and expression. And so I'm very thrilled to bring up our new Director of Transgender Inclusion, and I'll tell you just two things about Gina Duncan. One, she was the homecoming king and captain of her high school football team, the undefeated Merritt Island team. And two, she transitioned on the job while at Wells Fargo when she was managing 26 branches of that company. So she is a real powerhouse. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Gina Duncan.
Good evening. How is everybody? Such a great turnout. You know, it's true. I've had an amazing life in the fact that I was indeed quite a man's man for 50 years. I was captain of our undefeated state championship football team, homecoming king, Mr. Merritt Island High School, and lived that way for 50 years until I found the strength to be my authentic self. And thank you, thank you. But what makes that somewhat plebeian is our guest tonight. So I want to start off with saying this. For far too long, the T in LGBT has been silent. But today, the transgender community is stepping up and stepping out into the light. Never before has there been more visibility, awareness, and education of the transgender journey. Equality Florida's corporate transgender education initiative and its newly created statewide transaction advisory board are expanding the voice of the transgender community all across the state of Florida. Today, we partner with, as Stratton said, we partner with major employers like the Miami Heat, American Airlines, Wells Fargo, and Florida Blue, to name a few. We stand together for transgender equality. With this in mind, it is more than fitting that we recognize this year's Voice for Equality honoree. Jennings was assigned Jennings was assigned male at birth, the fourth child born into her family. Her mother, Jeanette, remembers that there was never a time when Jazz didn't choose activities and playthings typical for little girls. Jazz always insisted she was a girl and was only 2 when she made it very clear that she wished to switch genders. Done magically, of course, by the wave of a good fairy's wand. So it was that Jazz became one of the youngest diagnosed with gender dysphoria in the country. Jazz has overcome great obstacles on her road to her authenticity. When Jazz was 8, for over 2 years, she was banned from playing the sport she loves, girls soccer. Jazz was told she could either play with the boys or practice with the girls and sit on the sidelines while they played their games. Undaunted, her family challenged the state and then took the battle to the U.S. Soccer Federation, which directed Florida to allow Jazz to play. As a result of Jazz's ban, a trans-inclusive policy for all soccer players of all ages in the United States was created. Since that time, Jazz has become a national advocate and spokesperson for transgender rights. Jazz was featured in the documentary I Am Jazz, A Family in Transition, which attracted over 1.4 million viewers on YouTube. She was featured twice on ABC's 2020 specials with Barbara Walters, and she was recently interviewed by Katie Couric on Yahoo Global News. And the willingness for Jazz and her family to openly share her story is helping Broward County schools to build new policies for supporting transgender students that are becoming a model for our state and for our nation. In 2013, together with Jessica Herthel, she wrote her autobiographical children's book, I Am Jazz. And we're thrilled that Jazz's books are available at tonight's gala in the back. And since the announcement of the Voice for Equality Award by Equality Florida, Time Magazine has named Jazz one of 2014's 25 most influential teens on the planet. You know, Jazz announced she had a girl's brain and a boy's body when she was 6 years old. She speaks to us with such passion and with just one authentic demand: see me the way I see myself. Few people in the transgender community have articulated their true gender feelings with more clarity than Jazz Jennings. She is the true embodiment of authenticity. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce 14-year-old Jazz Jennings as Equality Florida's 2014 Voice for Equality honoree.